Now this is a starting sequence. It is very interesting. The starting sequence is about 1 minute 45, and the reason why this time frame is interesting is that after 1 minute, usually, lactate starts to accumulate, and this is when you start to become tired, and this is where technique deficiencies usually start to show much better than in steady state. And there's one major problem you guys have is you don't row together. The reason why I say this is very simple. The most important impact you can have on the boat, as I said before with this under 14 oct rowing, it's leg to hip transition. And everything that leads to the point where you can use the leg to hip transition together. If you don't get this right, this double will never be as fast as it can be. Now, where are you out of sync and how can we get back into sync? Let's have a look at this. Now you become a bit tired and we see this. Move forward. Oh, and this is the thing where you lose the patience to wait with the legs. So the legs don't keep the tension long enough to wait until the lower spines of this area here is brought forward. And this leads to the point where you use a lot of body weight on the oar handles and you know all the rest, you know. That cycle is a problem. Now you compensate this in different ways because you can see both of you are leaning onto your oar, onto your knees as you move forward. So you bring more weight onto your hands. As you move forward, this is why your blades are now skydiving, it's pretty high. Now you should just hang loose, but you don't. At this point, you're still in sync. The problem starts now. Kyle, you see this, your legs start to work now. While Alex is a bit more patient. A bit. Alex, your legs are coming too early as well. Not because you should wait longer with the legs, but because you should have less work, less tasks to do at the catch. And the most important task is to reduce the weight, bring it from the handles onto the seat. There's too much weight on the handles and therefore you're always out of timing at the catch. So there is already a slight difference. Now, Kyle, you solve that problem. You are ambitious. You just have a hell of a leg drive and say, kill it. But your body can't handle that. It's too much. You're very stiff. It's a bit like, hold on to that. Am I in focus? Yeah. And therefore, you shoot the slides. The seat, check where your seat is right now, where the blade is. Alright, you move the seat, the blade goes into the water, you feel that vertical resistance because this is how you stabilize the blade. I'm curious what it feels like to roll with the Randall foils because this problem should be gone. And then you have a lot of force traveling through the hands, shoulders, hips. Your back is in a good position, but look where you see this. So when your blade is connected in the water, now the first time, you are at basically half slide. Also, leg drive too early, but you pivot the upper body at the catch. And therefore, you end up at very different angles throughout the drive. It looks similar, but boy, has this a different impact. And as we move on, you see that, I don't know, these upper bodies don't work in sync. It looks, I don't know, what is it? It is exactly that. The effect you guys have on a boat is completely different. And you see this, and for me this is one of the greatest indicators. You see where the oars are. So this oar is right here, and this oar is right there. It doesn't mean that one is stronger and one is weaker. No, you just have different force curves. If I had to draw your force curves on a timeline, zip. This is the timeline on drive. This would be the catch. This would be the release. Sorry, my drawing is not very beautiful. Alex stroke, Alex yellow. I think you create an early peak and then you run out of resistance and the stroke basically smoothens out. Let's make a proof. Early peak. It can be any other way because you pivot very early. So this creates early peaks. However, the stroke is a bit longer than that. So your oars are bending now, but now it's over. Because your hands go down, go deeper because the shoulders have already traveled so far back to actually going more down and backwards. And you're still moving, but the blade is washing out, so there's not the same amount of resistance on the blade, and therefore the curve smoothens out. Logical? I think it is. Kyle, I'm gonna draw your curve pink. You start at the same time. Your peak is not here, and you have a bit more of a peak, and then you ease off as well. So you have a more like a plateau shape. The thing is that at the catch where Alex peaks so early, it takes away of your force curve a bit. So your peak is not as high. In a single, your curves would look different because you have different resistance available from the blade, but not here. As we move on, you see that the early leg drive creates more a plateau. You pivot now, and this is about here. You see also the different angles of the blades. So Kyle is still connected with in the water. This is why Kyle has his peak here, but Alex doesn't. It doesn't connect with the water anymore because, first of all, you see the water is not bending anymore, and then you see that he still has got body motion left. Now, what do you do? I mean, this is a misery, this position right here, because Kyle is going for it, but he has to do it alone. And Alex at the catch with his early peak feels like, I'm doing it alone as well. So you have two lonely riders in that double who have different force curves. So this is where Kyle thinks he's doing all the work. This is where Alex thinks, I don't know, this boat is not as fast as it could be, because he's doing all the work here. So what you should do is synchronize the force curves. So when you row the bi-row or try to synchronize this, get rid of most of your body weight from the oar handles, light hands. So all of the video analysis sessions we just had before in this very long video, they should tell you that if you want to create a force curve that looks more like zip, 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 this is what I'm looking for. They won't have to have light hands and use a linear drive. So no up and down, vertically linear. And now that you row with rental foils, this is probably what feels a bit strange, because here at the finish there is still resistance on the blade left. Yes, because your blade doesn't travel up and down, therefore your body's stabilized, therefore you are at the catch right on target, and you're able to keep it with the same amount of effort. No. And this is the main problem you guys have. So it looks nice, looks smooth, everything is good, but you guys don't row together. And I think this is something, if you change that, you would be 5, 6, 7 seconds faster over 2K, at least. Probably more than that. Yeah. But this is not easy to get out of. But now you have to bi-row, you have to rental foils. I mean, you have everything you can possibly wish for. And I'm pretty sure we got this solved. Yeah. Good. MJ, Alex, Kyle, I hope this helps you. Wish you all the best. Please keep me in the loop, keep me updated. And we move on to the next video analysis.